Chloe, this time, it's a story I heard in Korea about a strange and gruesome incident that happened in a stand bar in Hwayong-dong, Seoul, back in 1986. The secret of the bizarre incense smell that always lingered in that place. At the end of it all, a truly unbelievable truth was waiting. The story's main character is a man named In-seok. That summer, he started working as an organist at a place called the Royal Stand Bar. The bar's female owner was in her late 30s, always seemed to have plenty of money, and had a husband 5 years younger than her. The husband seemed like a nice guy and would show up every night without fail to take his wife home after closing. On the surface, they looked like the perfect couple. But from the very first day he worked there, In-seok felt something was off. There was always a strange smell of incense in the bar. You know, the kind you'd smell in a temple. Then, one day In-seok happened to arrive at work earlier than usual and witnessed a strange scene in the empty bar. The female owner was in the middle of the hall bowing to something and chanting Buddhist scriptures. It was as if a shaman were performing a gut, a traditional Korean ritual. The sight was so bizarre that from that day on, In-seok felt even more uneasy about the bar and its owner. Not long after that, strange rumors began to circulate among the employees who stayed overnight to watch the bar. They said that at night, a woman in a white dress would appear on the stage and dance, even when no one was there. At first, only 1 or 2 people claimed to have seen her, but later, almost all the employees were whispering about it. One even spouted nonsense about how he had danced with the ghost, only for her to vanish when he came to his senses. As these grim rumors continued, the female owner suddenly fired In-seok and all the other employees. "Don't go around spreading useless rumors," she warned. In-seok thought it was for the best. He was glad to escape the unsettling incense smell and the strange events. He passed his job on to a close friend and left the bar behind. And then, a few months later, he heard the shocking news from that friend. A murder had taken place at the stand bar. The female owner had killed her own husband. Chloe, this was the full story of what happened. Before the owner married her young husband, she had a dancer in her employ named Min-jong. She was the lover of the owner's husband back when he was just a designated driver. But after the owner took over the bar and seduced him, the man's heart grew distant from Min-jong. The wealthy bar owner must have seen like a much brighter future than a poor dancer. Even after marrying the owner, the man continued to see Min-jong in secret. "It was a marriage for money. Just wait a little longer and I'll come back to you," he'd tell her. But as time went on and he never returned, Min-jong, having lost all hope, began to break down. She started threatening him. "I'll expose everything. You think you're the only one who gets to live happily?" Was he scared of her threats? The husband decided to get rid of Min-jong. He called her to the stand bar one night after it had closed, and there, he strangled her to death in his car. He put her body in the trunk and disposed of it somewhere. After that, no one ever saw Min-jong again. But, Chloe, there was one thing the husband didn't know. The night he came back after murdering Min-jong, his wife, the bar owner, was only pretending to be asleep. In truth, she knew everything. The next day, she opened the trunk of her husband's car and realized the whole truth. And that's when it all started. The reason the owner burned incense, chanted scriptures, and performed those strange rituals in her bar, it was all her own way of atoning for her husband's sin and trying to appease the restless spirit of the unjustly murdered Min-jong. The ghost of the woman in white who appeared in the bar, was that really Min-jong's spirit? The bar owner who killed her husband was eventually sent for a psychiatric evaluation. Was she really insane, or was she just pretending to be out of guilt? And the most horrifying part is that Minjong's body was never found because the dead can't speak. The truth is likely buried somewhere forever.